Was there like a specific song or album or like a moment in your career that served as like the kind of tonal foundation for the DPTX?
Absolutely. First time was I'm in my bedroom and I'm listening to Who live at Leeds. And the bass is on one side, guitars on the other side. So I'm in heaven because I could hear that bass exactly what John Entwistle was doing. When they do that break where he goes, ding, 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 boom, 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 the tone, I went, what the fuck is that? Because it wasn't exactly what he sounds like now or back in the day with the real brightness. It was just this kind of a growly, gravelly tone. And then I heard Jefferson Airplane's bass player, Jack Cassidy, and he's playing through a basement, those little basement heads wide open with that distortion. And I hear this sound, I'm going, this is badass. But I didn't know anything about playing bass still, but I really liked that sound. It turned my head. Then one day, after I'm playing bass, I hear this song called Roundabout. And when I heard that bass part, two things happened. One is this sounds like a clavinet, a grand piano, and just heaven. Second thing was I cannot believe all the notes this guy is playing. And when he doesn't play all these notes, he's grooving like a motherfucker. And I thought, Chris Carr, who is this guy? And everything he played was a musical piece of its own. I have copied that guy so much that when I put on a Yes album, I have to stop and laugh at myself because I go, my God, Doug, I just can't believe you copy him so much. I emulated him so much. But in that time, Larry Graham came along, and I heard this song called "Can You Handle It" by Graham Central Station. Now, I did not know that Larry was slapping with Sly and the Family Stone. I thought he was just don't go. I just thought he was playing with his pick or fingers. But when he came out with "Can You Handle It" on the Grand Central Station album, when he was going and plucking, and I'm going, what the fuck is that? Because it was the funkiest shit I had ever heard. And I have never, I don't care. There is nothing more funkier than the way Larry Graham laid the bass down. I don't care who you are. I really don't. You can play. People say,
Oh
"Oh
yeah,
man,
yeah.
he's funky. He's this again." No, let Larry Graham go. Come on. You know what I'm saying? It's just the nuances, how he just had that little voice in it. So I guess I've always been attracted to bass players that had the voice in their fingers, and Jocko too. I loved his sound because it was totally opposite of anything that I would ever want to play with. And that fascinated me because when I heard Nigeria by Joni Mitchell, the bass on that record was Jocko, and I'd never heard of him before, and he carried that whole record. And I just remember, who is this bass player and how? I mean, he didn't play low, he didn't groove. He was playing all these beautiful things with these harmonics and stuff. And I was like, okay. So then I tried the harmonic thing for a while and tried to learn my harmonics but yeah, those are the things that we were all just kind of climbing up the mountain trying to learn. I'm just little brother looking up at my big brothers going, I want to be like you. I want some of that, some of that, I want some of that.
I could really see where all these individual bass players, where, like you said, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Hmm.
These are all bass players that broke the mold. They're also the bass players that kind of stepped out of the back and all of a sudden, like, kind of came up to the front.
Right.
I was like 14 when I first heard Chris Squire, and I completely flipped out to the point where by the time I was 15, I had an SVT and two fucking
There
Rickenbackers.
you go. To learn how to get that tone, I went to see Yes in 1975, I think it
Oh
was, when
no,
Topographic Oceans came out. And I watched, and I remember getting there early, and I'm going to go, now I am going to find out what this motherfucker plays through, because I hadn't, we didn't know. Nobody knew. I go in there and look up on the stage, and over there is a Marshall head and one bottom, 412, and an acoustic bass amp next to it. And Chris Squire came out and plugged into both of them. And I went, so that's how he does it. And I went home and got a guitar amp and a bass amp and
That
put them side by side and
Ah,
wax jacked them. And that's when it all started. That's when the change happened. And that's when started finding my way.
I went out and I got a black Rick and a white Rick just so I can change the pick guards and the truss rod plate. So I had white on white and black on black
I am
because you
scared of
didn't
you.
have that in those days. And I
Uh,
felt so fucking cool that
that's
I was
I
able
would
to
have
do
loved to
that.
see that. A friend of mine gave me a Rick way back in the day. I don't have it anymore, but
It's a love-hate relationship with Rickenbacker. You understand? Like you love him or you hate him, and then you can love them, and all of a sudden you're gonna fucking hate him. You know what I mean? It's a very particular thing.
it is. My take on it is this.
got it.
It's an amazing, amazing bass that plays like butter. It's amazing. Everything about it except two things. You can't make it cry
The
like
pickups,
you can't make it cry and you can't throw it around like you can do a P bass. I can yank my P
yeah.
bass and put my heart in that P bass and bend them strings and fight to get that note and hit the dead spots and find someplace else to work. And it just makes me fight harder to get what I want out of it. I pick a Rickenbacker up and I forget I'm playing it.